I'm gonna just wait a few seconds for some people to come on to the chat, but I wanted to do a reading on this full moon today. It's actually already been exact a few hours ago, and I'm not going to be home this evening. I will be doing a full moon circle with my good friend Holly Earth Guide at Solace Farms Day Retreat. For any of you in the area that would like to join us, there is still room. We're doing it indoors since it is cold out. There's a few spots left. Check my Facebook for a link, or go to solacefarmsretreat.com and you'll find how to sign up for that. Anyway, welcome. Hello. I just wanted to do a reading on this full moon energy because it is powerful. It is big. We are going through a huge life transformation as a collective, as a human species. We have been, but we're really starting to get shaken up, the ego getting shaken up, and humbled, I suppose you could say. These are extreme times that we're in. Hello, Lisa. Good afternoon to you. These are extreme times that we're in right now. And so we have to take in account, we cannot deny or put our head in the sand as to what is going on in the world stage, as well as our private lives. The most important thing to focus on always is self. What is this showing me? What is this telling me? How am I changing? How is my soul speaking to you? Because truly, Aries, the energy of Aries, is the I am. I am. Who am I? The soul knows. The soul is speaking. Hello, happy full moon in Aries. The soul is speaking to each and every one of us, and we have a lot of cosmic energies that have been coming in and kind of mixing things around energetically, emotionally. This is a very emotional moon, especially within our relationships. The Aries Libra axis, karmic axis, is our fate and destiny. And truly, this full moon is an eclipse. It's not an eclipse that is visible, but it is still on that Aries axis of the lunar nodes. Bear with me. Let me get back into this very fiery energy, a lot of passion, but also Mars is very strongly aspected in this moon cycle, and Mars is in Cancer, has to feel. And Mars isn't really one to want to feel. That's the part of ourselves that is like, let's go, let's get something done, let's take action. But now it's like, I've got to feel all of this first before I can even understand what action I need to take. So going back to the eclipse, because this moon truly is similar to eclipse energy. And if we look back to the very last full moon in Aries eclipse, that was 2005. So we are really wrapping up a very long chapter about ourselves in Aries. And wherever, if you know your chart, whatever house Aries is in your chart, you will know specifically where you have been making adjustments. Adjustments are required in this energy, and it is showing every single one of us what and where. Regardless whether the ego is still trying to think that it's in control, there's other rumblings and shaking apart internally for each and every one of us that is trying to break us out of the egoic mind patterns. Lisa says, I was just thinking that negative is an industry and is hard to break free from, trying to be very mindful and aware of myself. And again, Aries, myself, my patterns, my behaviors, we're getting a good look at all of this very strongly. This moon is also in conjunction to Chiron, our wounds, the wounded healer, healing our wounds. How do we heal our wounds? Well, we have got to actually feel them. We have to feel them, allow the true energy to arise and work through it. And then we can release. Full moons are all about release. Cry, scream, let it out, or just really, depending on where you are in your journey. It is really, truly important. The more we suppress, it's like a pressure cooker inside. My mom and beloved dog passed in 2005. Rough year. Interesting cycle. Yeah. Think about even the weather patterns that arose in 2005. Hurricane Katrina. We've already had 2 hurricanes hit the United States, and there's a lot more that's been going on in the world stage from 2005 to now. But we had Hurricane Katrina. There was Hurricane Wilma that came through. There was the war in Iraq. I could go on and on and on about how this chapter is coming to a close. But before it comes to a close, we have to ride through it and reconcile. See how we are actually interacting with others. Libra. So we have got Aries and Libra axis, sun and moon. On top of that, it's in a square to Pluto. Pluto is the depths of our inner psyche. Pluto will shake shit up. Pluto is a humbling experience, but it is very deeply spiritual. And it is our soul's path. It's also activating Mars in a square. So we've got Mars. And squares are tension. Squares can be challenging. It's bringing tension to certain aspects of life for us. So Mars in a square to the sun and the moon, as well as Pluto forming that square to the moon. Not as exact as Mars is, but still. We have a lot of other polarities that are working in this dance as well. As I said, it is showing us where adjustments are required for us all before we can move into our destiny. Otherwise, we fall back into fate and continue to repeat patterns over and over again. This is a time of tempering the ego. The ego is not going to go away. It's our personality. It's our persona. However, our egos like to think it knows because it's been trained, it's been taught, it's been programmed that way. It's also a protector that we do need the ego, but not in the degree that it had been operating in the past. This is a time for us to express our true, authentic self. Those parts that maybe, and this is all the shadow that's coming up right now, and I'll go into that. We have to accept and love all of our parts. Hello, Steph. I know, you caught me live finally. We have to accept and love all of our parts, including the shadow, including the pain body, including those parts of ourselves that we don't want other people to see. That is being seen on a grand scale. So we are all walking around very transparent right now, and that is a beautiful thing. So to get comfortable with that takes time, but to be able to fully express the true authentic self is all of the self, not just to put on the parts that you know that you like and you know that will be accepted and liked by others. This is where Pluto's coming in and is like, no more of that. So we have a lot of, the moon, like I said, is in conjunction to Chiron. So it's working with our wounds, our core wounds, our childhood wounds, as well as Aries, the goddess of discord. And this is what we've got a lot of, with these dark goddess energies, we've got a lot of, I don't want to say toxic, although it has turned pretty toxic, the distorted masculine and distorted feminine energies within us and within our dynamics are really kind of coming at each other right now. No longer feeling comfortable even being distorted. or toxic. So we've got the moon in a conjunction with Chiron and Aries, the goddess of discord, the goddess of like, I'm just going to clear the whole set and we're going to start fresh here now. It's very humbling. It's a very humbling experience to have. Opposing the sun in conjunction with Lilith, in conjunction with Medusa. Now look, these dark goddesses were not always known as dark. They actually deep within in the mythology start off as extreme love, extreme purity, extreme authenticity. However, has been tortured, beaten, cast away into these, creaky, wrinkly, witchy type of characters, because look at what has happened within ourselves, the true authentic parts of within ourselves, that when they're not accepted or loved by our family members, our society, our status quo, it gets beaten down. These are the parts that are coming to life right now, big time. Hello, Dustin. Let's see. Hi, Amy. The Japanese say we have three faces. One we show to the world, one we show to our close friends and family, and one we never show to anyone. Yes, except the one that we never show to anyone is making a grand appearance in the collective energy. And it's important that we honor that and open that, be open to that, be open to what we are feeling. Again, Mars in Cancer is all about feeling about what actions we need to take, feeling. Let me go back. I've got a lot of notes here. Hi, Amy. Hi, Dustin. Good morning from Corona, California, says Dustin. I love you all. We love you too. A lot of fiery energy. I did speak about in my last live how Jupiter is working with the sun and bringing a lot of luck, bringing a lot of benefits. So it's not all dark and scary. It shouldn't be dark and scary anyway. I just want to point out the deep things that have been really in the depths within us. Is there are different energies, entities, people, places, and things that are going to find that sore spot, and it's going to zap that sore spot. Instead of reacting, which we naturally will react to some degree, have the wisdom and the understanding of this is happening on a grand scale. This is happening for my benefit. This is happening to help break me out of an old version of myself. I must go into that depth. I must go into that pain. I must go into that shame. Must go into all that I've denied in order to feel it, in order for it to be healed, in order for it to be released. It's also with Mars squaring the moon in Cancer, the Mars in Cancer. We are feeling deeply what the heart wants, what the soul wants. The soul's been speaking to us all along, and the ego mind thinks it knows, again, the path that we are here to walk. And these energies are really working to get the ego mind out of the way. Get it out of the way. We don't know. None of us do. I don't even care how psychic or mystic or whatever. And astrology will tell the story. It will tell the tale. But we don't know everything that's been hidden within us. It's ancestral. It's patterns. We're going to feel deeply what it is the heart wants, what it is the heart desires. And we're also going to start to feel and experience how we are evolving and changing within as we continue on the path of evolution, especially if for those who are making the decision, yes, something's got to change. I know it starts with me. I'm going to make the change, be the change. And this is the first thing that I need to change about myself, about my environment, about my experience. It's fast moving. It's also about accepting very difficult truths. And many people are really struggling with this part of the journey right now. My cat is crying to come in. I might have to let her in because she can be distracting sometimes. She knows I'm live. She wants to come say hi to all you guys. But Mars in the square to Chiron is really making these patterns of behavior. It's bringing them to the light of consciousness. It's making us more aware. Venus is at the very end degrees of Scorpio. So Venus is also in the underworld, in the depth, with all of the dark goddess energy that are really and I'm not talking God, goddess words, right? These are energies of where we have been rejected, where we have been so deeply wounded as children and through our lifetime. We swallow it down and keep going. This is coming back up. This is coming back up because it needs to be released. It needs to be healed. And the only way we can do that is to actually feel it truly with love and compassion for ourselves. All right, let me let my cat in. 1 second. Oh, Luna. I know. Sorry. So, here's where I want to bring up for all of the sensitives. We're all sensitive. We're all empaths here, right? Lisa says, I know how it is. I have a cat too. She just really likes to be center stage. All of us who have been walking on eggshells our whole lives, hiding in the back of the room, hiding in the corner, not speaking our truth because it wasn't safe to. As a child, as an empath, you find ways of coping with the with what you're picking up from others. And we develop this very, very young, and we take that on with us. And it turns into a fear. It turns into like we go against ourselves sometimes, self-sabotage. This is the time. No more. No more of that. This is a time of rising up. This is a time of facing ourselves, facing our fears, and being our true, authentic selves. Always, always, regardless of what anybody else says or does, because truly it's always a journey, me with me, you with you, and then the outside reflection will mirror back. So if we walk on eggshells, if we kind of hide in the back room and just let, it's important to kind of let people be who they are, but not to let them take away from who we are. Do you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Mercury in Scorpio. Also, Scorpio is the detective of the zodiac. So we've got Venus and Mercury both in Scorpio. Mercury is also in a square to Pluto. Mercury, our thoughts, our communication, our mind. We're seeing so deeply into others and ourselves. If we can see the patterns and the patterns of behavior in others, they're showing it to us as well. So again, it's very humbling, this energy. It takes a rising up. It's a maturity. It's like, okay, yeah, you know what? I have that in me too. Maybe not to that degree, not judging. I see the mirror. There's just so many energies coming at all directions. Personally, I've found myself riding everything still very neutral, very indifferent. Yet I am witnessing a lot of manic behavior from many. And again, let them do what they do, but it's not going to affect me. No more, no longer. Hi, Patsy. Okay. So back to two things I want to mention. I already mentioned closing up the Aries full moon eclipse from 2005, which was also a very impactful year for me. Some of us have to kind of go back into old photos, but a lot of us have very memorable experiences in 2005. I got married in 2005. There were all kinds of things that went down in 2005 for me. Then we're also wrapping up Pluto's journey in Capricorn. Pluto is not in Capricorn very much longer. November 19th, Pluto moves into Aquarius for the rest of our lives on this planet. Anyway, will no longer be in Capricorn. Pluto has been in Capricorn since 2008. That was a very, very important year. It was definitely a lot went down for me then too. Interesting. A lot went down for me that year as well. Patsy says 2005, me too, breakdown in relationship with my only child. So we're coming to the closure of this chapter. And what happens when the energy is like culminating and building and trying to close it out? It combusts. It's like, here you go. Here's the whole story. But now we get a chance to actually see the story in a new perspective, see the story from a higher perspective, see the story as how this was actually the universe molding and shaping us, clearing karma, and teaching us a lot about our truth, our authenticity, and all the patterns and all of the things that we have done to play a part, play a role to others and even to ourselves that is not indicative of who our true heart and soul is. So yeah, Venus is also at the very end of Scorpio. So what happens when a planet is at the very end degrees of a sign? Again, the energy is, I'm not sure. I'm going to okay, yeah. Hi, Mike Hawk. Interesting comments there. But yeah, to a degree, but we're talking astrology right now, so the word karma is distorted also. It is linked to cause and effect. There are very specific laws in the universe that you cannot deny. Gravity, for example. Going back to Venus being at the very end degrees of Scorpio in a sextile to Pluto. Again, some tension there, as well as once we actually work through the tension, which again, Scorpio is the detective. What is this in me? What is this about me? Bringing things to the surface that have been in the shadow, that have been in the dark, that have been suppressed, denied, hidden from ourselves even. Yeah, you think? We're gonna let it ride for a minute. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna give the benefit of the doubt this time. But thank you. This is, ooh, strange sensation in the back of my neck. This is highly emotional energy, highly reactive energy. It is revealing subconscious patterns. It is revealing subconscious traps, which is self-sabotaging, basically. Yeah, I'm going to actually, no offense, but I'm going to have to just time out. I'm feeling distracted. And this is my platform to talk. So I know we all have our own beliefs. We all have our own perceptions and understandings. I'm just giving to you what I'm reading from the astrology. So And what I'm feeling, sensing, living, experiencing, and reading into with the gifts that have been blossoming and opening up within me. So again, Luna's talking. Revealing subconscious traps. Parts of our unconscious are becoming conscious. So we get to see like how we've self-sabotaged ourselves, where we've self-sabotaged ourselves, learning and growing, finding comfort and stability in the true authentic self. This sounds so much easier than it actually, Kitty agrees, right? This sounds much easier than it actually is. We can be completely comfortable and confident in our authentic selves in the comfort of our own home, alone or with family or loved ones. But as soon as we have an opportunity or we go out in a different environment, watch what other persona comes alive and sort of protects, right? This is what's being like unmasked, uncaged, because it's not doing us any favors. It's not allowing us to evolve and grow. End of Pluto in Capricorn since 2008. So going back to 2008, that was another so we are wrapping up that Pluto and Capricorn energy from 2008, the beginning, all the way to next month, the very end. And Pluto being such a slow moving planet, it is powerful. Having it all combined with the full moon that is pretty much an eclipse again, conjunct Chiron, conjunct the North Node, the head of the dragon, the destiny line, the place that our soul is leading us to, squaring Pluto at the end degrees of Capricorn. I mean, you can't get any more perfect than this. We also have a comet. We've got a lot of other things. The sun has been flaring. I don't get on with people stepping on my toes. The important thing is, and yeah, not to take any abuse or anything like that, but to take it inward. What is this bringing up in me? What is this showing me? What wounds have I been suppressing or hiding from or running away from? Because that's what Pluto will do. It doesn't feel very nice when it happens, but in hindsight, in retrospect, when you get through the tough parts, you can actually see, I see exactly how the universe was really shaking me up and waking me up to heal something that I've been carrying with me for a very long time, maybe an entire lifetime. Power and control conflicts, power and control dynamics, and the conflicts. We can definitely see this playing out on the world stage. We can also see the other end, the other side of the polarity playing off with those that are, especially here in the East Coast. I don't watch news, but when it's meant for me to actually know what's going on, it comes to me. But just seeing all of the people who have stepped in and volunteered to really help support and rescue so many people just out of their own hearts. And that is a beautiful thing. So we can see the dynamics playing out on the world stage in a very intense way with the power and control dynamics. Now, bringing it back into the empaths, those of us who are extrasensory, and I know the last reading I did was bringing up very strongly those of you who have an inner knowing that you've got certain psychic gifts, certain healing abilities, but maybe we're either going through a lot of self-doubt, going through a lot of, this basically is the self-sabotage, right? Going through that imposter syndrome or comparing yourself to others. This is the time. This is go time. This is important to honor whatever your body, your spirit, your mind, the universe is lighting a fire like very strongly inside. It is time to shine. But on the flip side, don't push too hard. You're already designed for this. It's already in the makeup of your life path, your birth chart. Don't push too hard to control things, because it doesn't have, if what it is that, most likely it's when the ego mind is like, say, all right, I want to set up shop as a tarot reader in this place, and I'm going to do it, and everybody's going to listen to me, and my YouTube channel is going to grow, and I'm going to keep pushing. But if that's the ego mind, right? If it doesn't have a depth of meaning very deeply, it doesn't have that soul's guidance to it, where things kind of are like presented to you, like, come this way, why don't you try this? Then it's most likely not going to, if it doesn't, what did I write? If it doesn't have depth of meaning and purpose, aside from one's own personal gain. And we got to really check ourselves there. Even those of us in the spiritual community, especially those of us in the spiritual community, and those of us who work as healers, as readers, this is the time to really check yourself. Is there a part in you that is looking for personal gain? Because most likely it's not going to turn out, or at least it's not going to turn out the way the mind, the ego mind, thinks it's going to. This is all about a selfless service. And it's difficult. It's very difficult, because again, we all need to earn money. We all need to earn stability and safety to keep ourselves alive on the planet. And many of us find ourselves working meaningless jobs, meaningless, spending so much of our time and energy doing something that means nothing to us, and it's for somebody else's personal gain. So it's really this strange dynamic right now. If you've got a passion in your heart and soul that's calling to you, go for it. This is go time. But just be mindful, if things aren't quite working out, there could be some kind of ego aspect in there. It's just to check on that. Check. It really is all about selfless service. Service to others rather than oneself. Yes. Because, being a part of the spiritual community and the healing community, we see this too much. We see this all the time. And again, it's a human thing, no judgment, but those who are still operating in that way are going to get a reality check too, myself included. I don't take myself out of any of these equations. I'm just reading to you the energy. So let's get some cards out. Hope you guys are all doing well. Where do we want to begin? All right. For this full moon, another thing that I'm noticing, recognizing, for those who are not listening to their bodies, or listening and feeling the energy, the pulls and the drainage, they're getting sick right now, because the energy has been so strongly saying slow down. And it's hard to do when we got a lot of fiery energy going on. That's really hard to do. So it's self-mastery as well as we can, ow. All good stuff as usual. Time for self-care. Yes, absolutely. Because if you keep pushing against the current, you're going to end up getting sick, or there's something else that's going to end up, happening that's going to be like, I've been telling you to slow down. Slow down, be mindful, be present. There's a lot of messages that are coming through the psychic airwaves right now. It's all over the place. Through other people, through anything you read, listen to, hear. If you've got the ears and the eyes to see and hear, it is everywhere. Through animals, just through our own streams of consciousness and downloads and meditation and dreams. It's powerful. This is a potent, powerful time. And why are we here? We are here to actually enjoy being alive, feeling alive, feeling alive and aligned. What is it that, what part of your life are you not in alignment with? And there could be multiple. A lot will say relationships right now because that Aries Libra karmic axis. Others will say their job. Some will say their home. It gets more and more and more uncomfortable when we are out of alignment with something in our life. And it starts to break down. Pluto's going to break things down. It's a breakdown, breakthrough. Where's the fear? Why is there fear? What is the story? What is the narrative that the mind is saying? Hello, Michael from Germany. Greetings. Fireworks right now. Interesting. Five of Cups. First card out. Right. Where is your attention? What are you focused on? Where your attention goes, energy flows. Don't forget that. That is a very important aspect of this energetic game that we're playing. Focus on, and here's the thing. It is important that we feel everything, but we feel it with the intention of healing and releasing. Full moons are all about release. This is the time, burn it up, in a safe way, release it. But we can't let something go if we haven't processed it yet. If we haven't taken the time to process something, especially if it's coming back up into the light of consciousness. I don't care if it happened to you when you were 4 years old. If it's arising in the light of consciousness, it's telling you, I want to be let go of. I want this. I want to heal this. But the Five of Cups is the energy of being in a space where the focus is on what has gone wrong, what has been lost, what didn't go right. It's regret, sadness, despair. And dwelling on it. How many people do we know that they're repeating their story? It's okay to tell your story. It's actually very healthy. We all have a story, a life story. It's very healthy to tell your story. Yet when you continuously repeat it, and that, especially to the same people, that's an indicator that you have not been able to move on from this story at all. It's still very, very present in your energy field and your emotions. And we all know someone who just can't let go of the story. And so they continuously manifest more experiences, situations that just add to that pain body, add to that story. Hi, Darren. And so it's like a never-ending, perpetual if I can't stop ruminating on all that's been going wrong in my life, life is going to keep giving you more of that. and then to actually project it back out to others that actually really do love and care about you is what we would call, and again, this is not pointing the finger, like an energy succubus, an energy vampire, because that's all they know to do is to reach out. Somebody help me, help me, help me. I'm feeling all of this pain. Eventually, your loved ones get tired. Like, it's the same song and dance. It's the same story over and over again for years and years and years and years and years. We all know at least one person like that. It's a trauma response. Yes. Oh, is there no sound? Oh, you know what? My son was calling. So whenever I get a phone call, it blocks the sound out for some reason. Sorry about that. I don't even know where it started. Okay, like, yeah, it wasn't a very long ring. I know that happened in the last video too, the last live. I got a phone call and I don't know. Everything happens for a reason, right? So 5 of Cups, focusing on the sadness, the sorrow, the pain, the storm. There's a storm in the window behind her. It's very gray and dreary. Things are blowing around. It's like an emotional storm that just doesn't seem to end. All good now, thank you. And here we are, the Lovers. The karmic catalyst. The catalysts that signed up, these are souls we actually need to thank. Eventually we will thank them. But if you're still in your pain body, you're not going to be ready to thank anybody that has broken your heart. It's duality. It's contrast. It's to break us out of the box that we have been contained in. We have very specific souls, and they usually come in fast and furious into our lives. And there's such a strong pull and such a strong resonance because it's trauma bonding. And just this deep resonance with somebody else's pain body. And it turns into something that's very unhealthy. Like the victim savior complex, empath narcissist, you name it. I mean, you could go on and on and on. We've all had it. We've all had it. There are still many very stuck in that story, in that emotion of the loss, of the grief, of the pain. And maybe, just maybe, for some, I'm hearing, the tables have turned. Because usually it's just one person, right? Usually it's the feminine or somebody that holds the feminine energy very strongly. Not always. Not always. And it's not gender. But usually it's the one who's more open with their heart and compassionate and loving that gets their heart stomped on. I remember when it happened to me, it felt like 1,000 knives going into my body all at once. The pain was so unreal. And it took a long time. I'm talking years to actually work through the healing, to understand that part of the journey. Okay. Wow. We have 7 of Pentacles now. What also happens with these experiences from the other, some would call it twin flame, call it what you will, it is a soul contract. What happens is it pushes us out of, whether we intentionally leave, or we are pushed out of the old storyline, the old experience, there's a lot of loss, material loss when this happens. Hi, Martin. There's a lot of material loss when this happens. And that also could be what there's still an underlying, even though many of us feel like we actually have really moved on from that. And for the most part, you have. They're telling me there's a little piece in there still that we need to heal. We need to feel. We need to allow to come to the surface for this full moon energy to really help us release. And how do we release? The best natural way of release is crying. That is very natural, energetic and physical release. We're the Magician at the bottom. So exactly as I was saying when I was talking about people, and we all know at least one, who have never been able to move beyond their pain, have never been able to move beyond how much it traumatized them, have never fully allowed themselves to feel the depth and to go through the healing process. The healing journey in itself is quite the journey. That is the hero's journey, which we are all here to do, and to come into true authentic self and self-mastery. But there are people who are just stuck there and they don't know how to get out of it. And so what do? They repeatedly recreate or co-create more to feel left out, cast aside, lack mentality, nothing goes my way. It's just always an emotional storm. And then they find somebody to attach to for a little while where like, yay, I feel good again. It's all because of this person. That is such a trap. And these are the traps that are being illuminated right now for many people throughout the course of the rest of this year, I would say. But at least until mid-November. So things have to play out the way they do. But definitely, we all need to look to see what am I creating here? I was listening to Moon Omens. I just love her astrology reports. And she was talking about a story, and I'm going to butcher it. I don't know the name of the guy, but apparently he was really famous. And this was a long time ago, but he had checked himself into a mental institution. He was not actually a patient, but it was an experiment. He stayed in this mental institution, not really having contact with the other patients, but witnessing and observing them. And they were all just out of their mind. And this is a really important, this is like the highest level of manifestation that I'm talking about. They were all out of their mind, like just batshit crazy. And he sat with his energy field and continuously asked Spirit, what is it in me is creating this? Why am I seeing this? There's something within me. And he was able to go through a complete and utter internal transformation. And lo and behold, the energy affected the others in this mental hospital, and eventually they ended up dismissing them all. So yes, separation is very important, absolutely. And we need to have separation, even if there's just that combustion of conflict. Do you ever have somebody really push a button and you're like, whoo, I gotta distance myself. I need 5 minutes, I need a day, I need a year, I need something away from you, because that separation, there's no use in staying in that fiery, conflicting energy. Eventually we pull away and separate. That is definitely energetic and important. Yes, he did Ho'oponopono. One flew over the cuckoo's nest. Is that what it is? Let's get back. Let's get a little deeper into it. Darren says, what about the lies? Okay, well, what do those lies do to you? What does that bring up within yourself? Where have you been lied to as a child? Where are you lying to yourself? There's so many ways we could really dive deep into that. But again, it's very, if you're not on this understanding that what is coming at me, what is coming for is for me to disentangle from within. And everything is perspective. What is true for one is not true for another. We have to be able to let people do what they do and be who they are, and continuously work on ourselves to be the best human that we can be. Tell me more about Five of Cups. Yeah. So for any of us who have played the role, I was talking about victim savior before, played the role of savior, you're going to get burned. Because we can't save anybody. We cannot. It just opens up a pattern within us for us to see. It's so much easier to see other people's stuff than it is to see our own, because we hide it from ourselves. We hide, this energy is really bringing it to the forefront, but everybody's going to be able to see it in their own unique way. Okay. The advice here is to start really focusing on the self, especially when it comes to the thoughts in the mind and what the storyline is, what the narrative is. This energy is coming in really fast. Mercury in Scorpio is trying to get to the bottom of it. Yet there's so much tension and so much contrast going on right now. A lot of people get caught up in playing in the surface of it all, playing in the tit for tat, the arguments or the lies or this or that, and why did you do this to me? Eventually, we got to step back from that and take it to another level, take it to another, see it from a higher perspective. What is this teaching me? What is this showing me about me? Where are my patterns? What do I need to see? What are you trying to show me that I have not picked up on? I'm not picking up on what you're putting down. So you just keep throwing more and more and more at me until eventually we're like, oh, I get it. I get it. And to actually see that this experience with another was the catalyst to the awakening within, the ignition of the soul's fire, of the soul's journey. Waking up from the slumber, waking up from just the silly, superficial things that we used to think were important until you go through this part of the journey. Now, the High Priestess, this is an interesting dynamic here. Seven of Pentacles, again, speaks of not just loss, but dwelling on the loss, feeling very, it's a dwelling. We've got Five of Cups, Seven of Pentacles. It's like, I can't let this go. You know why you can't let it go? Because you haven't allowed yourself to feel it all the way. We can't let anything go that we don't process fully. If we keep staying in the same storyline and pointing the finger at somebody else or something else causing us this pain, yes, I know that happened, but what I'm trying to say is there's more to it than that. And if we stay in that, we just continue to perpetuate it over and over again. We are the creators, the co-creators. There is a deeper truth within that's trying to surface, that's trying to show us the truth of ourself. And then we have Ace of Swords, which it ultimately opens us up to a new perspective, a new way of living, a new way of perceiving ourselves and others. Let's get a Kuan Yin. Oh, yeah. No, you don't, Darren. That is a choice. And you have options. We always have a choice. We don't have to participate in those types of relationships. I don't care if it's family or otherwise. There are times where we need to go on our own journey. And that's really what this energy is showing. A lot of people building the fiery energy. It is combustive, it is combative, yet it eventually will lift many up and remove themselves from people, places, and things that are causing a lot of turmoil. Eventually you realize fighting back does not work. You can't change another person. You can't. The only thing that we can change is ourselves. And that's right. You deserve better. Yes, Martin says, if you're not the I, you're still in the body and easily distracted by everything and everyone. Yeah, just like, and I love that. I always connect that I to the eye in the sky, right? We are living in an inverted matrix. Everything is upside down and backwards to our true nature. And so we don't allow others to continuously cause us stress and harm. We realize, oh, I don't belong here anymore. It is time to move on. And that's a hard pill to swallow for many people. Final message for us all in this full moon. That is a lively energy today, I will say. Yes, they are energy vampires. There are so many energy vampires. And, you know, for those of us that are still seeking and still in need of, I mean, we all, of course, need connection, but we have to be our own first lover and mother and father and all of that before we can really truly attract in the right person, the right energy. Otherwise, when we're seeking, other people are seeking our energy, and it always turns into the same story, the same old song and dance. That's when you realize, oh, this is a lesson I've been repeating over and over and over again. Same theme, different characters, different story, but it feels the same. It's bringing up the same Chiron, childhood wounds that we are meant to heal. Can't heal it unless we actually process and feel it. Thank you for that. Yes, I do readings, but they are not for free. And you can certainly email me. All my information is in the description box. Okay. Kuan Yin. No? Oh, Darren, you are loved. You are definitely on the journey that we're on. Sometimes we really get stuck in these, they're almost like black holes. We don't realize it. And because we are still so consumed and involved, it just swirls around and it just keeps repeating over and over and over again. Until we can't take anymore. And it's different for everybody. So there's definitely no judgment. There's always compassion that comes from my heart. Because I've been there. I was stuck in that for probably a good 5 years. Myself. Feeling like everybody was out to get me or judging me or lying to me. Taking advantage of me. Feeling very vulnerable and sensitive, but then my scorpionic sting would come out like, don't mess with me. Oh, I love this one. Okay. Oh, we have the dance unveiling at the bottom. Oh, I know, it is a load of bollocks, isn't it? 8 immortals. This is a strong message. This is a message about our guides that I started the reading off with. Like the messages that we are receiving right now, each and every one of us are so strong and powerful. But we've got to slow down enough and be very present enough to really, really hear them and integrate and process it all. I believe this is the same. Okay. Eight immortals. The messages you have been receiving that are unconditionally loving, fearless, and encouraging of you to grow and be your true self are from your higher guidance. The 8 immortals and other beings of divine light and divine love are guiding you. It is safe to follow these messages now. Doing so will bring you greater joy. Sometimes you may question whether you are in contact with genuine spiritual guidance or engaging in wishful thinking. Genuine guidance is simple, clear, and repetitive. When you ask for confirmation, it will come. The more open you are, the more quickly the confirmation can reach you in the form of signs, conversations, serendipitous happenings. In fact, confirmation and guidance can be instantaneous and from multiple unconnected sources. Like the universe is playing a joyful, loving game with you. The guidance will be uplifting and helpful. Sometimes it will ask you to take a step that feels challenging, and yet true guidance always proves itself in that it only asks of you what is right and just for your highest good. It always serves the highest good of all involved in any situation, no matter what our fears might be. It is good to be careful and discerning about the quality of guidance that you are seeking, but it is usually an easy task to identify when guidance is not of a higher vibrational variety. It will be judging of you or others. It will not feel right, even if genuine guidance feels like it is asking you to do something unexpected or something that feels like a real stretch for you. It will still feel right in your own heart to do so. Genuine guidance even when challenging, brings a sense of rightness and peace into your heart, whereas lower vibrational guidance or thoughts or wishful thinking doesn't bring you into deeper peace. It simply confuses and confirms judgment. It isn't nearly as helpful. Sift through your thoughts and feelings to come to the genuine guidance and true spiritual knowing within you now. You can call upon the eight immortals and any being that loves you unconditionally and trust that you will receive quality guidance. The process below will help you to be still and connect with it through your own heart, beloved, which contains great wisdom and peace to guide you. The process below. Take a pen. I'm going to put this down. Take a pen and some paper or your journal and write a letter to the higher guidance that loves me unconditionally, and let them know what you need guidance on, or what guidance you need confirmed or revised. Write a letter, read it aloud, then seal it up and place it helpful and unconditionally loving and true higher guidance in answer to my question. Thank you, beloved. Namaste. Let it go. Then let it go then and come back and reread it in 2 weeks' time to see if your question has already been answered through your life experience to the date. If not, read the letter again and ask to be shown the answers in a way that serves your highest good by repeating the visualization and requests if necessary. And that's a good way to really test the guidance. Uh-oh, am I not audio anymore? Can't hear me? Oh, sorry guys. Can you guys hear me? No? No, I didn't get a call. Oh, I don't know what it is. We got cut off. But thank you guys. We're going to end it now. Sending you so much love and happy new moon. Oh, you can hear me? I like doing sign language. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Dipped out for a moment. Might pick up what you said in the transcript. Okay. That's all. Well, the exercise is really just writing it down and then letting it go. In 2 weeks, revisit it and see, did I actually receive confirmation or my answers through my life experience or through other ways? And if not, ask again and ask it to be given to you in a way that you can understand it and receive it in your highest, greatest good. So that is what the message was. Happy full moon to all of you, and be good to yourself, be kind to yourself and others. Know that we're all going through a really big transformation right now. And I can't wait to see what the outcome of all of this change brings us all. But most importantly, give yourself love and compassion, because all of our shadow parts are being drawn up to the surface right now for healing, for love, not to deny them, suppress them, or judge them. So much love to you all. Martin can't hear me. Okay. Bye-bye.